Close your eyes down here with me. And I want you to take a big inhale in through your nose. Whenever you're ready, fill up all the way. Brief hold at the top and then take a big open mouth exhale. Let your breath go. Good. We'll do 2 more just like that. Big inhale in. Brief hold and let it go. One more time. Big deep breath. Brief hold and let it all go. Whenever you're ready, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Whenever you're ready, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Well,
Thank you so much again for coming on. I can't wait to talk about literally all the things.
no, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh my God, of course. Of course. It's literally such a gift. So I kind of just want to get into it. You've built an incredible community, truly. And it has been such a gift for me to be able to be a tiny, tiny, tiny part of it in the little moments that I've been able to. And Fitness Ambassadors and the Fame Fest has been such an incredible thing over Dallas over the past couple of years. And I kind of just want to start with your story of like, how did we even get here?
It's been quite the journey, as many would say. We're celebrating 10 years of Fitness Ambassadors and 7 years of Fame Fest. So there's a lot. And what I can start with is just that I'm a local here in Dallas, born and raised here, right? Lived here all my life, never really got to go anywhere. And it started because of that. Like I went to school here. I got really lucky. I got a great scholarship to go to SMU. So obviously I stayed here for college, and it really started after, right? It was this desire for connection, because without the proximity of school and that repetitiveness of seeing the same people and over, you start to lose connection. Like you feel like you had all these friends, and then when you graduate, you're like, where is everybody? And at that time, it wasn't, I don't know if it is now, was it typical to want to become really close to coworkers? Mm-hmm. You wanted to keep that separate. And I realized, wow, I feel like I've exhausted my social circle here. I've met as many people I could possibly meet by going to birthdays and parties and whatever, that I'm like, I know there's so many more people here. I just don't know where to meet them. Mm-hmm. And at the time, there wasn't much to do in Dallas. It was a city that's primarily focused on, and still is to a point, on food, alcohol, partying, which is great. Like I enjoy that stuff. I just don't want to do it all the time. And I realized I needed different hobbies and to find people to do different interests. And so it started off just as a passion project and has evolved so much since then. Something so unexpected, nothing that I planned for. And then somehow I'm here 10 years later.
Things that people are craving right now is that community and people outside of like their traditional circle. And just like me, I'm a Dallas native too. And it's funny because as I've grown over the past, 10 years post grad, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes you grow out of certain friendships and certain circles. And so it's always kind of the next thing as you evolve and grow as an adult. It's like, where do we start to find more people that are more aligned with where we are in this like season or chapter of life? So obviously the big events that you have and you host are insane. I mean, you have, 800 plus people at weekly events. Like to even think about building something like that, how was your first event? Like, how is it so different from where we first started?
Yeah, my first event was probably like in a parking lot and like a shopping center. It was so successful to me. It was so great. It was like maybe 30, 40 people that came for like a yoga class or something like that. And it was just a partnership with like an apparel company or something. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me just do this again. And then now to see like where we're at now, where we have the opportunity to host that many people in one space, I'm just like, one, where do y'all park? And then two, thank you for coming.
Truly. So even getting into this, was this your background at all, getting into health and fitness and wellness events?
Not at all. I went to school for journalism. And so I had a lot of great experience there doing a lot of internships in Dallas. So Dallas Morning News, CBS 11, Dallas Biz Journal. So great at asking questions and just being very curious about things that are going on. And so I think that helped a lot. But when I graduated, I got a job that made me deal with numbers, which was not the point. I went into journalism for a reason, because I did not like numbers. And I was like, okay, well, fresh out of college, like let me figure out how to pivot. And it was just like, let me just hone these skills again, photo, video, writing, and Instagram was a thing then, still is, right? This was when we had filters and frames and just started writing. And it started off as like a foodie thing. Like I loved documenting my food adventures, and boutique fitness was just getting started in Dallas. I don't know if anybody remembers City Surf Fitness.
Oh my God. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Take me back.
Hello. And I think at the time I was like running with my friends on Saturday mornings, right? It was like Katy Trail, then you go to Ice House and have a beer. And I was like, okay, cool. This is the in between. This is not like too much one way, too healthy or too not healthy. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I could do a review on like a group fitness class. This is cool because I'm not an expert. I'm not a fitness instructor, but I can talk about it from like a first timer's point of view. Mm-hmm. What was parking like? Like, what do you need to bring? Was there water? Do they have shower? Do they validate? Do they like, where are they? Are they nice? Right. And so I took that, applied it to group fitness, and I think I just got in at a really great time. And it was so early, like we didn't even have a Soul Cycle or a Berries. I think we had like 3 studios, maybe a Core Power.
Which is so crazy thinking about it now, because I mean, I really do consider when I go to other like bigger cities like LA, New York, Chicago, I mean, Dallas has grown so much in not only the fitness scene, but also just the wellness scene in general. And I think it's so fascinating to me, since we're both from here, seeing that growth. And like, you know, I don't think it's one of the biggest fitness or even wellness cities yet, but it's really getting there. I mean, I definitely think with the help of even you doing the free events everywhere and just making things accessible. And I kind of want to talk about that because I feel like there's kind of a trend these days where there's kind of like the rumor going around of like there's a wellness recession because there's so many trendy places to go. There's so many classes to take. Sometimes studios can be fairly expensive, whether it's a drop-in or a membership or something like that. And you provide free classes, which is unbelievable. And I think that's one of the many reasons that I can see as an outsider perspective that so many people consistently come to your events. How has that kind of taken off over starting from, okay, we're going to be reviewing all these spaces to now doing your own events?
How's it gotten there?
Yeah.
Relationships. Like building really great relationships with everything from like studios, local businesses, venues, and like everything in between. Because there's so many people with the same goal. It's just to, you know, get exposure, promote their business, get in front of people that, you know, have expressed interest in health and wellness, and basically collab together and throw a party, throw an experience. And there's always an opportunity to do better, to improve, to add more to the next time and the next time and the next time. And I think that's kind of how we got here is, okay, well, we did this once. We're going to keep tweaking it. Where could we do better? You know, like what didn't really hit, or was there any feedback? Like if I was, would I want to go to this event? That's always a great question to ask too, is like, would I even go?
It's so interesting to me because community is something that is so needed now, kind of just like we mentioned, of like finding that third space and just finding people, whether you're in college or post-grad or just in a new season or chapter of life, whatever that may be. How have you continued to build that community over time? Obviously, relationships is so important. How do you continue to grow and expand and do all the things that you're doing?
It takes a team. I believe that the key is consistency, even on days where you don't want to show up. Right? Like it's that trust that the community has in you, that they can expect you to always, they can rely on you to always be there. Or at the very least, you're communicating with them when and where you're going to be. Like I'm not just dropping off the face of the earth for like 6 months and then coming back and being like, I'm back, guys. Like that's not how community is built. Like they're expecting something from you, and they give to you as much as you give to them. So it's definitely like a two-way street within building that. And you know, with my team, like I've gotten to a point where fortunately I know how to delegate. I know how to ask for help, because doing this alone for such a long time was really hard. And then now it's like, hey, you found the great people that have the same mindset. They love the goal. They're here for it. And so together, right, 2 brains is better than 1. 3 is definitely better. 4 is definitely better. And so there's room for creativity.
So how was that process doing it for so long? and then taking on like your first employee volunteer. Like, tell me more about that.
Oh my God, it was hard.
Yeah.
So I had fitness ambassadors for a year while I was still in corporate America.
Okay.
And I remember people asking, oh, when are you going to quit? When are you going to quit? Right. And I'm just like, I don't know. And I guess I was just so fortunate and lucky because, again, right time in the industry, I was getting so many inquiries and I was like, okay, well, I have savings. And if there's a time to take a risk, it's now. I'm young. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage. Like there will always be jobs and there will always be great bosses to have. So I was like, okay, bittersweet. Let me leave this, behind and just see where it goes. And it was slow. And I think what was great about that is it allowed me to not it wasn't like a viral moment where you grow so fast you can't keep up. You need that experience to be better, to build a strong foundation. So that's what it has allowed me to get here is that it took me some time to really learn how to slow down, how to be okay that done is better than perfect, how to celebrate the moments, how to give myself grace, and then eventually just be able to ask for help and let go and trust that person. And that's not something anyone with my type of personality can do overnight. Absolutely not. It is so hard. And now it is like the best feeling to be like, they got it. Like if I got sick and couldn't make it, they can handle it, and that there are definitely capable people out there.
It's funny, as an entrepreneur, you really have to go through this process of not only learning about what culture you want to build within not only your core unit of people that work with you, but also the culture of what you want to bring to like the clients, the students, the people who are taking your classes, the people, the community that's really coming in. But then you also have to learn so much about yourself, which I feel like nobody really tells you until you're kind of in it.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yes. There's a lot of self-development, right? And you have to do that on what feels like a public stage. People have to watch you fuck up all the time. And then it kind of haunts you. You're just like, oh, dang, like there was this moment where maybe I had my foot in my mouth and I said something, or I wasn't my best self that day because I was stressed out and I was having anxiety and other people have to see that. And you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to just be okay that I was not perfect in that moment and just keep moving forward.
How do you handle that day to day where it's like, okay, I know for a fact I'm not having the best day, but I still have to show up. Like, what is the thing that helps you continue to push through and keep going?
I would say it's the purpose, right? It's like, what is the purpose of me being here? The purpose of me being here is to at least help one person feel a little bit less alone today. And I think that has been what's ensured like the endurance and the persistence, or I guess the continuance of what I've been doing is like, that is like what I remember and what I think about. Like, it's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's none of that. That's what has kept me going this entire time, is knowing that there was someone just like me at one point that felt very, out of place, awkward, uncomfortable, and probably in the back corner looking around like, what have I gotten myself into? And making sure that I'm there to welcome that person and say hi, or at least touch base with them.
I think you do such a great job of that from the very little that I've seen, truly, of making sure that everyone does feel welcome when there's so many people. And I think it's just not only a testament to the development that you've done on yourself, but also the incredible team that you've built underneath you to make it feel like such a safe space. Sometimes it's easier to hold space for a very small room of 10, 20, 30 people. And you're always growing and expanding and taking things to the next level and adding on brand partnerships and you're always adding on. How do you keep doing it? Does it feel like you're doing all the things, or have you started to notice, okay, this is my wheelhouse. These are my strengths. I know what my weaknesses are, and I help other people fill those weaknesses? Or how is that growing?
Yeah, it's just like what you said. It's what are my strengths? What am I really good at? And what do I not really like dealing with, right? And so I'm having to delegate the parts that I can do. I just am not thrilled about it. I feel like I excel in creating like the main experience. Finding the brand partners that can add to it, and like logistically talking about what is that experience from A to Z. My team then fills in on like, okay, well, we need people here. This would be great here. This is who I would choose to be the instructor. This is how many volunteers we need. This is like the cutesy table that we need. So it's thinking about that whole experience and because like some of my previous jobs involved being in hospitality, it's always, what is the guest experience? Like, what is it going to be like for someone to come, you know? And that's what's allowed me to continue without constantly getting burnt out, is I get to focus on what I do really well. And it's making cool shit happen in Dallas.
Being burnt out, I feel like, is a cycle that we go through as entrepreneurs fairly frequently if we're not taking care of ourselves. And I'm in a season of definitely that. But then it's like you find those projects and those things that really continue to light you up as you're moving through that burnout. How do you handle burnout? How do you handle the seasons where you're like, oh my gosh, if I have to show up in one more way right here, right now, I don't think I can do it?
Yeah, I think it requires having a great support system, first of all, right? Someone that you can go to, that you can really be yourself, that you can, you know, feel all of your emotions and process that. It's having a good routine that you can stick to kind of manage that as best as you can. It's working on yourself, going to therapy, but it's also setting a lot of boundaries, because I think the thing with burnout is it happens when there's an imbalance of your energy and time. And so I've definitely felt that this year because it's been so busy, which the abundance I'm so grateful for. However, I feel like I spend 90% of my time working. So there hasn't been time outside of that for play. Like, I'm so tired by the end of the day. I'm so drained that I just want to stay at home. And I'm like, well, the year is flying by. What have I done outside of work? And so I think there was a quote from like one podcast. It was like, the opposite of hard work isn't play. The opposite of hard work is depression. I think it was a Brene Brown like episode or something. And I was like, oh. And especially as entrepreneurs, we're so focused on productivity. We feel guilty for even taking a rest, right? Or taking a day off. So I remember that was such an impactful podcast episode, because it says, go do something that doesn't require work, that isn't productive, that isn't two birds, one stone type of situation. Is it skateboarding? Is it going surfing? Is it, you know, knitting, gardening, whatever, and that'll fill your cup again because it's not productive.
So what are your routines? What is play to you these days in this like season?
That's so funny you asked that, because I was asking myself that the other day too. I was like, I've been in such a homebody for such a long time that when I created a list of things that I wanted to do, it involved steaming my mattress. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of the house. But I do love to read, mostly nonfiction, just because like my brain needs like creative brain candy. Like, I can't do all like the self-development books. I get so bored after like 2 chapters. I have tried. Any kind of like sports. Like, I love like pickleball, volleyball, rock climbing. Surfing has been a new thing here in Deep Ellum. I like hosting like dinner parties, getting the girls together to go out, try something new. You know, if I can, solo traveling, it's always fun for me, or just like traveling anywhere in general. But yeah, I think I probably could use a different hobby right now. I love to cook at home a lot too, but I'm just like, what can get me out of the house?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So as you are growing and building community so well, you definitely have to protect your peace and continue to keep those boundaries up while you are building this community, not only in your personal life, not only in your team and your business, but also with the community as well, so that you're not taking on so much all the time.
Yeah.
How do you protect your energy when these events are growing so big and there's so many people surrounding you?
Yeah. It's learning how to say no a lot more. Right. It's taken a long time to practice that, when there's like a gut feeling of, I should, maybe, right. You're kind of hesitant on it, but you say yes anyway. And then at the end of it, you're like, I don't know why I did that. So now it's like listening to that kind of gut feeling of like, I should probably say no to this and let it go, because something else is going to come and fill that you're going to be really excited about. Because like, I am so grateful that for most of like the last 10 years, all of my partners have been incredible. Like, they've been so great to work with. I'm so glad that I had space for them. And they're very, very, very rarely has there been like a partner where I'm just like, I never want to do this with them ever again. And it was because I listened to my gut and said yes to the right people, fortunately.
God, I love that so much. And I think it's so important as you're growing whatever season or chapter in a business too, of like finding those partnerships you can really not only rely on, but continue to work with down the road. It's so important to listen to your gut.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is so not spoken about enough, of like, you have to listen to that inner voice or that inner nudge where it's like, I don't know why I don't feel good about this, but for some reason I'm just going to have to say no. And I'm not going to question that. But like you said, it does take a lot of time to get there.
And I wanted to add this too, because when I first started started, like I still had like a safety net in terms of like I lived at home with my mom, and I still had like another source of income to kind of keep me going and savings as I was building this. And that allowed me not to be desperate with like partnerships or agreeing to doing things just because I'm like, ooh, I really need this like, revenue to come in. Mm-hmm. And so I think that gave me the space to be very selective. Mm-hmm. And so that really helped set a really good foundation. And then that doesn't mean that I haven't made that mistake, but that's a hard thing, especially growing any kind of business, is you kind of get those like moments where you're just like, ooh, how do I make ends meet? Mm-hmm. And the difference between paying bills and like maybe sacrificing integrity, right? So those are just like things that people don't really talk about. I wish they did more often. I'm in totally that season as well of like trying to navigate like, okay, what's next when you're growing and you're shifting, and then you have to go down an avenue, and then you're like, ooh, I actually have to pivot now. Mm-hmm. What have those pivots or shifts or changes looked like for you when you're going down a path and you're like, ooh, maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that? Fitness Ambassadors has changed a little bit every single year. And I don't know if that was ever in my mind a good thing or a bad thing. You grow up thinking, oh, a business is like this two dudes in a garage, like with like, I don't know, venture capitalists come knocking on the door that it's a brick and mortar and like they're official. But I started this before like the whole online business like phase of the world. And I was like, oh, am I not legit? Am I not a real business because like I don't have an office? Like I just work from home on my computer. But with that, because it's evolved every single year, I take the feedback from the year and I just make it a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something to be said about being nimble and able to make those changes quickly, because some places you just can't. Like, as customers or consumers, you're like, well, I need this. And the corporation can't make those changes as quickly. But I have the capability of doing that. And I'm able to adapt with the consumer trends and behaviors. It's able to adapt to my own personal journey, where I'm at and what I'm interested in and what no longer is like aligned with me. And I think that's been the best part about everything. In this journey for the past 10 years or even the past 7 with FameFest, has there been anything that you're like, that was so unexpected? I had no idea that was going to happen? Or COVID? I would say some of like the amazing like companies that we've been able to work with, the amazing brands that discovered like Fitness Ambassadors through Instagram or word of mouth or something, and to be able to say, oh my gosh, like I get to work with you on something, like that's incredible. I get to be part of an experience. It's opened doors for me that I never would have imagined, right? And so it's been such a huge blessing in that way for sure. And then, again, with like COVID, it showed me that the limitations are all in my brain, because in my, like before that, I was like, I need a physical space. How do I scale to multiple cities? And then we all went online and I'm like, oh, there's actually no limitations. There's no walls. I could be anywhere. I'm basically everywhere right now. And so again, that ability to adapt is what has allowed us to get to this point. 10 years, which is crazy. And so I'm very grateful that I had a business that could do that. Which is unbelievable, because I feel like in the fitness and also the wellness space, just health in general, the story that I hear is like, okay, well, I grow, and then I have a brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. And then we grow and grow and grow. And then we have a second brick and mortar. And we grow and grow and grow. And then we continue to grow in that way, but only with brick and mortar. So I love hearing that, a lot of the times the untraditional route can be way more successful than we potentially imagined if we, thank goodness, allowed ourselves to go that untraditional route. I want to go back to your community building, because you have continued to build such an incredible community. I'm not going to shut up about it, because I'm just shocked every time I see so many people just happy to be there and just so grateful. And everyone's just, there's so much joy, especially for the Tuesday night, 7 p.m. that you've been having in the park, here and supportive of each other, which sometimes in bigger cities you don't see a lot. So how has that community helped kind of heal you and shift and change you? Oh my gosh, it's filled my cup. Transparently, like the beginning of this year, I struggle with depression and anxiety. And at the beginning of the year, I was just like, gosh, this is so hard to just be here right now. And there was a feeling of burnout. There was even like this unsureness of like, is this still going to be here? Do I still want to keep doing this? So it's definitely like empty cup. And we started doing this series, which is our second year with Downtown Dallas Inc. hosting at the park. And because it's every single week, and that consistency has continued through the summer, it's been so cool to see the fruits of your labor, right? Because you can do so many things within your business and like outside of like revenue, you're just like, where is the growth? Where is like the magic? And I get to see that every single week. And it's filled the cup of my team every single week because we work so hard. We can tangibly see the success. And success isn't the total number of people getting to like 800 people. It's, oh, this person came up and said, this is my first time. I've never done this before. This was so great. The instructor was amazing. The music was amazing. The people were so nice. And speaking on nice, like that is the biggest compliment that I get is everyone is so welcoming. Mm-hmm. Everyone is so nice. And then I'm just like, why is that not the standard? Why is that the standout? Everybody should always be nice. I don't understand, but good. Mm-hmm. And we do like a kind of a pep talk before everybody gets there. And I tell like my volunteers and my team, you don't know what kind of day someone's had, right? You don't know if they had a good day, a bad day, a long day. You don't know if parking was terrible, traffic was terrible, but when they get here, smile at them. Talk to them, say hi, say their name back. It's so simple. That'll make such a huge difference because I've heard horror stories of like walking like front desk girls just being like, check in. Do you even go here? What? Mm-hmm. So it's the hospitality. And so I think that is my favorite part of my week. And that has really enlivened like my drive to keep doing this.
Yeah. It's very, it's funny because now it's like on trend to do what you're doing, but you've been doing it for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. When you are kind of like I consider you like a thought leader, a trend leader, because starting this as long as you did ago, and now people are trying to mimic what you're doing as far as like the building community aspect, maybe not the business model itself, but the building of community. And I feel like right now there's such a need for connection over than like, okay, I'm going to create content. I'm going to push things out on social media or online. And you do such a great job about making everything very intentional when you're in the space. But at the same time, on the flip side, like you are kind of looked at as like an influencer in some ways and aspects now because, in this kind of new coming trend as health and wellness, people are now looking to community leaders almost as influencers. So how has that been for you kind of shifting of, okay, I wanted to start building a community and now people are starting to look to me for info, advice, guidance?
I technically started off as like an influencer content creator because I had like my side vlog and everything, but I feel like I've outgrown being an influencer. Like if anything I do on content wise, I do it just more for myself, but I do consider myself a person of influence. And it is because of the experience of seeing how much has changed, at least here in Dallas, and what people want and like, as well as constantly keeping my eyes and ears open to what is happening. What are they interested in? What's hot? What do people need? And just making sure I'm receiving all that information and feedback so that when people are coming and saying, Mai Lyn, what can I do here in this space? What do people need? Like, these are my ideas. And it's very simple. People just need something to do. They just need someone to tell them where to go. This is like what they're going to be doing, and it's okay to come as yourself and just have a good time.
So for people that are wanting to build community, because I feel like there's so many new kind of groups that are popping up, whether they're content creator groups or whether they're run club, hot girl walk clubs, all the things. What would you speak to them about as far as growing your community? What would be the best piece of advice or certain things that you're like, I wish I knew this when I first started?
To be consistent. And that consistency can be whatever you want that to be. If it's once a month, once a week, every day, like whatever it is, just be consistent and that'll pay off. Work on like that one thing and make that one thing really great, and never stop asking yourself, can you continuously improve that? That question will get you super far because then you'll think, oh, well, maybe this could be an area that I work on. That'll stand apart from someone that's just like, okay, it's just the same thing. Like there's no need to tweak it. There's no need to fix it. There's no need to experiment or anything like that. And to also see it as a blank canvas that you can create something with. And that's what I see Dallas as. That's what I see these fitness spaces as, is a blank canvas. And then having fun with that. You also have to ask, right? Like you have to ask people for opportunities. You have to Like the answer is no otherwise. And I say, be a little delusional about what you want, about what you are dreaming up, because you just never know what's going to happen. And I think for me, it's because I was a little delusional when I started off that's how I got here, because it just never occurred to me that it just wasn't going to happen.
You know, it's so funny because also too, with just the popularity of social media and that being such an important tool that you have to also build community and reach out. And that also is a tool to like build brand partnerships and things like that. I mean, it's a necessary tool for everything. And with your background in content creation, but also now building community in this space when it comes to social media, what have you noticed the difference being of like, okay, I'm here to grow a following versus, I'm here to lead a community?
Yeah, I think it requires the ability to transition from online to in-person. With social media, you have these parasocial relationships where you feel like you know somebody, right? You just watch them every day. You know who they're married to, you know their dog's names, you know, like all that stuff. And so when you meet them in person, you're hoping that energy that you saw online is the same in person. Mm-hmm. And so thought leader or someone in this space needs to be able to show up online as well as in person and get over essentially like their own social anxiety and know that they have to be on, that they're there for the people that are coming, that it is a job to show up for them and not kind of recluse and expect people to come to them. I think that's kind of what makes someone really special when it comes to connecting with their people, because like they love you, they want to meet you, they want to like you, and they want to be friends with you. So hold space for them.
Yeah. How has that process been for you?
It's interesting. People have asked me, what's your favorite and least favorite part? I'm like, people. Literally. Like I have met some of my best friends. Like it's connected me with so many amazing people that I never would have crossed paths with. But it's also allowed me to meet people that I never want to meet ever again. Because, you know, people are people. But it's been interesting. Like, I feel like I have found my people through it. Learned that it's okay for me to just have, like, normal, casual, like, acquaintances with others as well. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be friends with everybody.
Oh, absolutely not. Nobody has the time for that.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
No, of course not. I know that when we were talking earlier prior to actually getting on the mic, we were talking about the loneliness pandemic of like how I feel like everyone's busy and there's so much going on.
Yes.
And it's like whenever I'm talking with someone, it's like, oh my gosh, you're doing this because they see certain things on social media yet again. And it's like, oh, but behind closed doors, I may not be as busy as you think I am.
Yeah.
Or my community isn't as strong or whatever in certain seasons or chapters of life. So when building community or really just finding friends post-grad or like when you're transitioning from one season to the next in life, as you've built this community, what have you noticed of like, okay, this is how I'm going to build new friendships? Like what are tips, tricks that you would do like as an adult trying to find those friends?
Well, first I would like to remind everybody that it takes a long time to make a friend. This is like a generation of instant gratification. We just assume we should go somewhere to an event and make a friend. No, I wish that was the case. You're making a bunch of acquaintances. And I referenced a study that says it takes, 40 to 60 hours to go from like an acquaintance to a casual friend, up to 100 hours. That's time spent with a person to consider them a friend. 200 plus hours to consider someone a best friend. So the 30 minutes that you maybe got at coming to one event isn't going to get you very far. That's why you have to consistently show up and get out of your head and put yourself out there, right? Like this is like so normalized with like dating, but it has to be normalized with friendships. Like you have to put yourself out there. You're going to meet people that you're not going to click with, and then you're going to meet people that you are. And so that would be my number one like tip is you just have to get out there. And the funny thing is most of my members in social and fitness ambassadors, they're introverts. Like maybe like 2 full-on extroverts in there. And we tell them you get out what you put in. Right? It's like getting a gym membership. Like you're not going to see results if you never go. But the more that you show up, the more likely you're going to see whatever results based on whatever goal you have. And so that goes for friendships too. If there's one dedicated community that you want to focus on, whether it's a run club or a book club or whatever, you have to consistently go because then you get past the, do I know you? Have we met before? And then it goes into, oh, I saw you went on this trip. How was it? Mm-hmm. Oh, your daughter just started school. How's that going? Do you want to catch up? Do you want to go get lunch after this event? And that's kind of where the magic happens, which is in between the class, before and after. You have to be present for that. You can't do that online.
I totally agree. And it's getting off your phone. And I think that's also also the power of fitness ambassadors in general is that you rarely see people on their phone because, I mean, you have to be a part of the fitness class. I mean, of course, people are filming and things like that. But, at the end of the day, you have to be on your phone to take the class. How has fitness shifted for you since like when you first started to where you are now over the past, decade, if not more, but really intentionally building this? Does fitness have a different definition to you now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was joking about this with you, but I have friends that I tell I'm kind of like a fraud when it comes to fitness. Like people assume because I run a fitness social club that I'm super fit and that I work out all the time and I live and breathe fitness. No, it couldn't be further from the truth. I work out maybe 3 times a week. I don't have the time to do that. Like I enjoy movement, but I don't enjoy being in the gym all the time. I just want to be healthy enough that I'm capable of living my life, right? Like I don't take for granted that I can walk up and down the stairs. Like I had knee surgery once, like getting in and out of the shower with like a cast on, terrible. Never taking that for granted ever again. So I just want to take care of my body so that I can go and live a great life. It's expanded into wellness where, now I have to think about what am I eating? What am I putting into my body? How's my heart? How's my brain? How's my mental health? How's my social battery? So it's all encompassing in that regard. And I'm so glad that's something people are talking about a lot more. And it's not just siloed into physical fitness or like looking a certain way. And that it's not one size fits all. It's wherever you're at and whatever that means to you.
Yeah. How has that journey impacted you from moving from more of a fitness space for a little bit of thinking that that's the only route to go for physical now into more of the mental wellness space? How has that been for you?
It's been amazing. It's allowed more conversations and for me to learn things that I don't think I would have done on my own. Right. And I found that there is a way to always bring it back to self. Like, again, the mental health aspect of it. What does it mean to have grace? What does it mean to not feel guilt? What does it mean to like take a break? And a lot of that has to come back to like, okay, how am I healthy? Is this healthy for me? Is this killing me? Is this like eating me out from the inside? Like bringing awareness to things that you otherwise don't. And especially as an entrepreneur, you're learning along the way what is healthy for you. And so it's just been very eye-opening. I feel like I wouldn't have as much personal growth if it wasn't having to be put to challenges like this all the time.
No, and I definitely agree on that because that's a conversation that I don't hear talked about a lot is in the entrepreneurship journey, you are working so much on yourself and developing yourself, but then also the mindset behind everything is so important. And we bring in so much of our childhood and our life experiences into who we are ultimately. And then that then flows into every aspect of our life, which then flows into our business.
Yes.
And when it comes to like anxiety and depression and things like that, so many people struggle with that. Literally every single person that I know either is on one portion of the spectrum. Yeah. How have you been able to handle those aspects when we're fighting on a spectrum on certain seasons?
Again, it's like having a great support system. And like, when I think back, I can say there was a lot of people pleasing, right? I felt like I always had to say yes. A lot of like overperforming because I felt like I had to prove myself, wanting that validation to get that check mark, that A+. And that contributed to a lot of anxiety, a lot of like then resentment, right? Because you're like, oh, I did all this. Why is nobody happy? When they never asked you to do half the things that you just did for them. So it's like the aha moment of realizing what my issues were allowed me then to really become a better person and to address it. And it's like a secret. Like once you can name it, it no longer has the power that it had over you. And that has been, I think, very like life-changing for me in a lot of ways as well. So I've had to learn how to like regulate my emotions better and understand that, there's a stigma around like maybe taking antidepressants and learning, there's a space, there's a time and place for it, and it's okay if you need to do it.
It's so important because as we continue to build ourselves and to grow ourselves, it's like at the end of the day, the most important thing is the relationship we have with ourselves rather than any other relationship, whether it's dating, business, everything in general. So I really do love that so much. So now looking ahead, if you could literally see fitness ambassadors, 10 years from now, where do you see this going next?
Yeah, I think it's changed every year, what I think. Right now, we are talking about some changes that I want to make so that it fits into like what I deem as healthy for me moving forward. So I can see it becoming something a lot more simple so that I could scale this in other cities, and it allows me to maybe travel a little bit more, or to have like a team here that can run it so that I can build it elsewhere. You know, again, being from Dallas, like I didn't have that opportunity to like move away. And as grateful as I am, there are moments where I feel kind of stuck here, right? Because I decided to build this thing and committed to really building this thing. And there are many moments where I'm very grateful, obviously. But sometimes I'm just like, what else is out there? Like the world is so much bigger than Dallas. And I'm very curious. Like I'm in my mid-30s. Like I don't know what I don't know. So I could see that then giving me that freedom that I've always wanted.
Is there anything personally that you're working on right now?
Trying to make sure my foundation is good. So with fitness ambassadors, like that's like one avenue, trying to find other kind of side projects and passions that can make sure that I have a financially free life.
What are your favorite rituals that you do to not only take care of yourself, but also the people around you?
Personally, it's romanticizing my life as much as I can, right? It's taking my time doing a skincare routine. It's something as simple as plating my food very beautifully on a plate, buying myself flowers. Like it's just finding moments to where I am just going above and beyond for myself because I deserve that. I think that's allowed me to feel a little more like grounded when I have that alone time and just being okay by myself, being happy by myself. That makes me feel really good. And that way I can show up for the people in my life. And I love doing that for my friends. Like if they need me, I'm that person, whether it's a drink or I need to bring a shovel, you just let me know. But I can be that person for my friends for sure.
Oh my gosh, Mai Lyn, thank you so much for being here with me today. This was such a gift. Well, obviously, we've been talking about fitness ambassadors all the time, but where can people find you? And tell us all about Fame Fest that's coming up.
Yeah, on Instagram, Fitness Ambassadors HQ. My personal is Mai Lyn Ngo. It's just my full name. I talk about a little bit of everything on there. You'll just see me acting like a crazy person. But Fame Fest, it is September 27th. It's going to be at Harwood Park. This is our first time in this new space. It's going to be a little bit different than it has in the previous years, which again, blank canvas, right? New ideas. And we're very excited to see what's going to happen here. It's going to be super fun. 7 years in, I feel like now I can breathe and it's just coming a lot easier. Things are not as uncertain or different or unexpected. We just know what to do at this point. And so I'm very grateful that I get to do this for a 7th year, and we'll see how this goes. And maybe we do this for an 8th year. So I always joke with my friends, this could be the last one.
I love it. Well, Mai Lyn, thank you again so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Of course. Me too.